Hello everybody, today we're going to be jumping back into Historic Brawl to stop our opponents from playing the game. Let's talk a little bit about our commander. Our commander is Reidane, God of the Worthy, and she is a toolbox of different options depending on what our opponents are playing and the matchup we're into. On her front side, she's a 2/3 flyer with Vigilance, and she's going to slow down our opponent's snowlands, having them enter the battlefield tapped. And she's also going to tax our opponent's non-creature spells with mana value 4 or greater. That's going to let us establish some of our strong stacks pieces, while our opponents are going to have to wait to get the mana to deal with that. On the backside, we've got Valkmira, Protector's Shield. This card has two amazing abilities. First, it's going to reduce the damage that's dealt to us or permanents that we control by 1 for each source that tries to deal damage to us. This is going to almost completely shut down token strategies. Similarly, it's going to make blockers absolutely amazing for us and very difficult for our opponents to swing in without losing creatures. The second ability on the shield is to counter any spell or ability that targets us or any of our permanents unless its controller pays 1. That additional tax can be devastating and will push our opponents behind in trying to deal with all of our threats, and we have a lot of different threats that need to be answered. Similarly to the shield, we've got the Amulet of Safekeeping. This has that same counter ability, but also shrinks creature tokens. And at the top end, we've got Overwhelming Splendor. This is going to turn all creatures our opponents control into 1/1s with no abilities, with the shield reducing all the damage dealt by permanents by 1. Our opponents will not be able to damage us at all. But if that's not enough for us, we also have Elesh Norn to kill all of those creatures as they enter the battlefield and while they're there. Absolutely amazing. Now we've got a couple of other important stacks pieces to look into, ways of stopping our opponents from winning. We've got Solemnity. This is going to shut down poison counters, but when we pair it with 9 lives, it's going to prevent all damage that's dealt to us, keeping our life total the same. We also have Book of Exalted Deeds. Can pay 3 mana to give an angel we control the ability you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Now, for us, we do have 2 very special angels that we want to give that ability to, and that's going to be Mutavault and Faceless Haven, both of them which are notably lands. If our opponent can't interact with our lands, they'll never be able to win the game, and we will never be able to lose, and it's only a matter of time before we get there. We also have Fall of the Thran to set our opponents back very far, destroying all lands, including our own, but we have a bunch of enchantments with a lot of different effects that are going to be staying on the battlefield. We don't need any lands for that. And while its next chapters allow players to return lands from their graveyard to the battlefield, we have ways of exiling our opponent's graveyard, and that's going to mean no more lands for our opponents. Additionally, we've got a whole bunch of board wipes, a whole bunch of removal, a whole bunch of ramp, and a lot of other ways just to slow down the game. We've got Hushbringer as well. This is going to hurt ETBs. We also have Mana Tithe as a counterspell that our opponent's almost never going to expect. And at the very top end, we've got Avacyn, Angel of Hope. This is going to give every permanent that we control indestructible, and this is going to be almost impossible to deal with in the late game. Taking a look at the mana base, we already talked about some of those lands. We do have a Field of Ruin, just because we do want to be able to deal with annoying lands that our opponents have. Nykthos is going to be able to generate a whole lot of mana super quickly, just because of all of our enchantments and all those white pips we're going to have on the battlefield. And we have Aganjo, just to deal with attackers or bad blocks. Now that we've had a chance to take a look at this deck, let's go ahead and see how it does. Alright, here we are, playing into a Vorinclex deck. This looks like a good opening hand we're going to go ahead and keep. Notably, we've got 9 lives and Idyllic Tutor. This is going to give us our Solemnity, so off to a very strong start that way. Opponent has Snow Lands, creature cards in graveyards and libraries. Will not be able to enter the battlefield anymore, and players can't cast spells from there, so this is going to shut off like a Collected Company type effect if our opponent has it. Okay, Lotus Cobra for some ramp. Let's go ahead and play our Ornithopter of Paradise. Next turn, we're going to be looking to Idyllic Tutor. If we draw the land, we can play the Mind Stone as well. Yep, more landfall. Things are looking pretty good for us. Again, main goal here is going to be to try and lock our opponent. From there, the win's going to come. Alright. Let's see what creature they get. That's right. None, because we have the Graph Digger's Cage. Yeah, no blocks. Sure. You can start hitting your invasion. Perfect. There's the land. Alright. You know what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and grab Solemnity. We now have both pieces of the combo. And we don't want to play this out yet, though. Our opponent's not going to have hand disruption, so we do want to hold on to it so they can't remove it. There's the Vorinclex. I think next turn we're going to go for Realm Breaker. With all those snow lands, Reidane might also be a good choice. Now let's go Realm Breaker. Can start stealing our opponent's lands. Since we're missing land drops, this is going to be a little bit better for us. Give us some ramp. And we're not looking at lethal yet. Next turn, we will probably play out Solemnity. Help hedge against all that damage. Yeah, there's Nissa.
We will not fail.
Okay.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Now, Nissa is going to be really good for us. Just because they're going to turn a lot of their lands into creatures. Creatures that we can exile with Farewell. Alright, yep. More creatures. This is completely fine. Okay, we've got ourselves a forest. They're gonna flip the invasion. We are looking at potentially a lot of damage. Let's go ahead, play this. Let's get a Plains. Play the Plains. Now we've got a Realm Breaker activation. We'll have 6 mana to cast out our whole lock next turn. And I think we will. Okay, they flip Vorinclex pre-combat. I think that was a pretty bad hit as well. But their creatures can't even come back. Graph Digger's Cage is putting in work. I think our opponent's just going to concede when we play the Solemnity 9 lives. But we'll see. They still have a whole bunch of mana with Nissa. We're not going to activate our Realm Breaker until after they attack, so we know that we'll be able to survive. Gotta be on the lookout for something crazy. Yep. Alright. Lots of lands. Okay. Yep. This is fine. Okay. Also pretty big. Lots of big creatures. Okay. We'll just go ahead and block the one. No need to take that 1 damage. Oh, that's right. It can assign its combat damage as though it wasn't blocked. Okay. Well. Let's not discard. Solemnity. 9 lives. And let's just play out Archon. It's one spell per turn now. Now, Vorinclex also is never going to gain additional counters, so he's stuck as a Saga because of Solemnity. This is huge for us. There's a Beanstalk Giant. That's fine by me. Looks good. Gets a land, does some milling. We're in a really good spot. Gonna be stealing some lands with Realm Breaker going forward. Looks good. I think they've already cast their spell for the turn. So we're not too concerned there. Nissa can keep upticking. Alright. That's perfectly fine. Nissa destroyed their own land. No counters. Thanks for turning it into a 0/0 creature. Yeah. I don't think they figured out what 9 lives does yet. But odds are we're gonna have it in just a second. Alright. Let's play the backside of Reidane. They don't need our Mind Stone anymore. Let's draw a card. It's a land. Okay. Now we can just start this way. We're okay if they minus on the Nissa. I don't care if they get a whole bunch of lands. That's more for us to steal with Realm Breaker. Opponent can only cast one spell this turn. Yep. Way to go, Nissa. Go get a whole bunch of lands. Their indestructible lands also don't matter. We can exile them with Farewell whenever we decide. Gonna wait till we have more cards to cast, though. I want to keep Archon on the battlefield. Yeah. Opponent's gonna have a whole bunch of mana. Don't think they're gonna be able to do anything with it all, though. Let's just go ahead and hit Resolve All. Now they have to pick green each time. Okay. This is a lot of mana for the one spell they're going to be able to cast this turn. If they have a fight spell and can get rid of the Archon, then maybe. Nice. Play out the banner. It's a good choice for their one spell. Perfect. Yep, buff all those creatures. Yep. Can't cast the other spells. Yep, you should probably read all of this. Yep. Alright. Opponent only has 40 cards left. Okay, go ahead and pass. Alright, Realm Breaker. Sure. We'll take the fancy land. Alright, looks like we got it. Alright, here we are playing into Atali. We can keep this opening hand. This looks pretty good. Alright, we're gonna start with Authority of the Consuls. It's a great turn 1 play. Next turn we'll have Mind Stone. It's not looking like our opponent has any snowlands, so we're probably gonna play the backside of Reidane. Yep, gain some life. Looking good so far. Ramping with the Mind Stone. Okay, yep, opponent's ramping as well. We do want to be careful with the Atali, because our opponent can hit some really good Permanence. Okay. Settle the wreckage, pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and cast the backside of Reidane, though. This is going to tax Atali's ability. No, never mind. It's each player. It's not targeted. Still the good choice here, getting that out on the battlefield. Have some options going forward. Archon of Emeria will shut down the Atali, though. Because they can cast any number of the spells Atali hits. Okay. Looking good. So yeah, we are going to want to get Archon out. No land, but that's alright. Yep, that's what we wanted to see here. Atali's going to enter tapped. He will exile one of our cards, but he won't get to cast it. Nice. Okay. No land for us yet. Let's go ahead and play out the Amulet of Safekeeping. Pass the turn. Yep. Eventually, we're gonna have to worry about the damage on the flipped Atali. Yep. Yes. Very dangerous. Okay. 7 poison counters for us. Blocks are weird, just because we have the shield in play. Okay, we do get a land, though. This is looking good. We have to hold up, settle the wreckage. Okay, extra turn. Sure, it's a good spell. Let's exile Atali. Alright. In a pretty good spot. One more mana, we can play the God Pharaoh statue. Yep, that's fine. Okay, opponent's second turn. Comes Atali. We'll gain a life. Okay, can't cast those because we have the Archon. Alright. Yeah, swings in for 3. That's fine. Okay, we do have Solemnity. So let's go ahead and play that. Solemnity is really good. That's going to stop the poison counters on the flipped Atali. Still going to be able to deal some damage, though. And we just need to be drawing some more mana. Hopefully we're going to be able to stabilize before our opponent can deal enough damage. Alright, Nissa.
I protect that which cannot protect itself. Behold, nature's true power.
Okay. That's fun. Yep, that's fine. Transformed. We'll just block here. Save some damage. Taking 10. No counters for us. Okay, we do have Farewell. That's gonna cleanly deal with the board. But we need the lands for it. Pass the turn. Alright. Let's see what we got. So I do have to block here, or else we'll just take the 10 for lethal. Yep, some extra lands. Looks good. Alright. Opponent doesn't have enough mana to pay for both. So that's no ability for Emrakul. Yep. Just destroys a land with Nissa. And we draw the land. Alright, let's go ahead and exile all creatures and all graveyards. Still worried about Atali. This time they're actually going to be able to get the spells. Okay, it's a Cultivate and an Ornithopter. So I actually don't feel bad about that. Gaining some life. The life gain's really important here. Okay, Wolfillow Haven.
Harness the elements.
Looks good. Opponent only has a mountain in hand. And they're gonna make the wolf. Every bit of damage counts. Alright. We actually can't play the statue this turn, so we're gonna have to end. We're gonna need to block with Mutavault if he flips. Have to be ready for that. If we can get to Overwhelming Splendor, that's our next goal. But let's see. Opponent can minus on the Nissa. We just need one more mana. Alright, that's a lot of tapped creatures. We're gonna gain a whole bunch of life here. Looking good. Now we actually don't have to sacrifice Mutavault. Primal Storm. It's gonna be a little bit of an issue. Okay. Minus the Nissa gets a bunch of lands.
Life cannot be denied.
Lands are indestructible now. That's fine. Okay. We just need to draw the land. Land in Overwhelming Splendor. Our opponent won't be able to damage us again. Yep. This is fine. Okay, let's see it. Alright. Overwhelming Splendor. This is about as good as it can be. Opponent swings out. Yep, 1 damage is 0. There's a Mind Stone. Okay. Now, we also have Indestructible on all of our permanents. This is a great spot for us. Okay. There shouldn't be too many ways out of this for our opponent. They need exile removal for Overwhelming Splendor. Okay. To my turn. Okay. Let's go ahead and play out God Pharaoh statue. Move to combat. Okay, there's 8 damage. Opponent's on a clock. We don't actually get to start going through our saga here, but I am going to have it out just for devotion later. Better to spend the mana now. Yep. Okay, that's 1 life for us. In a really good spot. We don't have to worry about their creature land either. Yep. Okay, my turn. Okay. Move to combat. Let's go 8. We're gonna draw a card off the Mind Stone. We'll play a Gilded Lotus. End turn. We're presenting lethal now. Okay. Yeah, we've got it. All right. And here we go, playing into Slivers. Now, this is a hand that I'm okay keeping. It's a little slow. We're going to definitely want to see some more lands. But we do have both the Book of Exalted Deeds and Faceless Haven. So if we can get that off, it's going to be a game over. And drawing a land to start is really good for us. Yep. We're definitely going to need more lands. We'll be able to search for one with Restoration, so that's good. Let's see. Here's our choice. Let's go with the Runestone. Looks good. Alright. We're gonna search for the land. The snow land is more important here. We're in a really good spot. We're just looking for mana. Discard a card. Let's discard our Arcane Signet. That's fine. Play out our book. Next turn, we've got Gilded Lotus. Okay. First Sliver. Alright, flipped. Amulet of Safekeeping. Alright, next turn, we do have enough for Faceless Haven. Okay. Looks good. Yep, that's fine. Swinging for 7. Okay. We're gonna go for it. Faceless Haven. Book. We're just gonna end the turn right here. As long as we have Faceless Haven, we can't lose and our opponents can't win. Alright, yep. Opponent's gonna get a whole bunch of slivers in play. But that's okay, we've got Overwhelming Splendor in hand. Alright. Fine with the board getting loaded up. Now we are a little concerned with Riot giving those +1/+1 counters. It's gonna make our 1/1s 2/2s. Yep. This is fine. Pro White, also fine. And First Strike. Looks good. Alright. One more sliver. Just based on this, I don't think they're going to have a way to remove any of our permanents. So we are going to be in a really good spot. Okay, yep. Board wipe would also be really good here. But we can't lose. So we're not too concerned. We do have all the time. Okay. Looking good. Next turn, we've got the shield that we can play. Yep. And then it's just a matter of time before we can get there. I'm honestly hoping our opponent starts swinging so that they can see that we won't die at 0. Yep. That's fine. Mm-hmm. If they're swinging out, they might as well. I don't know why they would only leave some back. Looking good. There's another land. Okay. Now the only creatures that we have to worry about are the ones with +1/+1 counters on them. Not even that we have to worry about them. Again, we won't lose the game. Okay. Icon does buff the slivers. But we do have Day of Judgment. So we'll just go ahead and clear the board. Couple more cards, and then we'll be able to actually start pushing for a win. Yeah, that's fine. Cascade. There's a 1/1. It's a 2/2. It's looking pretty good. Yep, another 2/2. Alright, Idyllic Tutor. You got a couple of different options here. Now we could go more card draw. The card draw route is pretty good. But I think we're going to want Hollowed Haunting. This is going to actually let us build up a board and start presenting damage. Again, no need to... we can't destroy all lands anymore. We want to keep our Faceless Haven. So we are out on that particular game plan. Right? Let's go ahead and make ourselves a 0/1. Exile this. We'll block here. Only take 1 damage. Guardian Idol. End the turn. Alright. Now we're just looking for some more enchantments. Okay. Opponent's scrying. Given how much they were able to cascade, I don't think they're going to be able to find something to get out of this. Yep, no blocks. Down to 5. There we go. Elish Norn off the top. Opponents, yeah, and we've got it! Alright. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed watching today. As we saw, this deck is a deck that definitely excels in locking your opponents out, but will take a decent bit of time to get ahead and actually start winning the game with. So an important thing to note if you do decide to play a deck like this is you are going to be playing some very long games and you might not be able to win all of them. The key to this deck is being able to stabilize once you've reached that point where you've developed your lock on the board. That's great. Your opponent can no longer be making forward progress towards the win. It's like, but you will have to wait in there if you don't have a way of winning yourself. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for a video you'd like to see me make next, why don't you go ahead and leave that as a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.